The other thing I was going to mention is that I've started feeling a little bit low. It's not like me to feel a bit low, not very often. It happens very seldom with me, but
my inverter is not coping very well with the kind of heavy processing that's required to do videos. It's causing me a bit of grief this morning, which is annoying because I found a bit of time to do this. It's raining this morning. It's been raining quite hard, but I've shaved my beard off because it was pissing me off. The other thing is my grey water system was blocked, so the water won't drain properly out of my sink. Okay, it's Saturday the 17th. It's 10 to 9 in the morning. I've been editing a video. I did about an hour or so last night, and I've done about an hour and a half this morning. My inverter is not coping very well with the kind of heavy processing that's required to do videos, which is part of the reason that I've been so far behind with everything. And I have to keep stopping to take breaks to let the inverter catch up with charging the battery back up. So I'm either going to need to buy a bigger inverter, or I've been toying with buying a big 1024 watt hour power bank, which will cost me about £1,000, which I don't want to spend quite at the moment, but I might have to order one and get it delivered to a campsite somewhere. Because I'm going to need this for work. When I'm doing Word and Excel stuff, it's not a problem. Anyway, it's causing me a bit of grief this morning, which is annoying because I found a bit of time to do this. It's raining this morning. It's been raining quite hard, but it's supposed to stop quite soon. And I think the rest of the day we're going to have sort of sunny periods. The other thing that's happened is that, I've shaved my beard off because it was pissing me off. And I think I'm going to stay clean shaven most of the time from now on. The other thing is my grey water system was blocked, so the water won't drain properly out of my sink, the main sink in the kitchen area, and in the shower. And I think that's because even though I don't, I'm vegan, I don't eat any meat or anything like that, or anything particularly fatty. I think if I wash anything up that has been fried, sort of saucepans that I've used to fry or do big bean stews and things, if that goes down the system, then it is sort of quite likely to block things up because the pipes are quite a small diameter. So I've just been having a quick look on the internet, and it just suggests, removing a lot of any kind of fatty stuff and not from the pans before you wash them. And that's kind of something I have been doing quite naturally. I've been kind of washing or scraping the stuff out with tissues and stuff like that. So I think that's the other thing. And I have been scrimping a little bit on the detergent because I don't like using lots of detergents and stuff, but it looks like, you just have to use it to stop the system blocking up. So one of the things I have been doing is I've got some hand cleaner that I never really use, but I brought them with me, and I've just been chucking loads of that down the sinks and just letting it go down to try and break down the fat or whatever is in there blocking, and hopefully that will clear it out. If not, I'll have to put something a bit nastier down there, like bleach or something. But I'm mindful of not wanting to damage the pipes. But other than that, I do feel quite tired this morning. Don't know, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do today. I'm going to head in the general direction of kind of Fishguard. I've found a couple of free places I can stop potentially overnight, but it just depends what I find on the way. And I don't want to have too many I don't want to have any kind of rigid structure at the moment. I'd like to just sort of drive a bit, find a lay-by. As from tomorrow, for the next 5 days, I've got to work quite hard to get a report done, and then I've got a week off. So I do need to kind of find decent places to stop during the day, and then just spend the evening sort of exploring. But I just have to do that because that's how it's going to fund this trip, and potentially taking bigger breaks next year. So a couple of little challenges this morning, but as ever, you just have to rise to the challenges and sort them out and get on with it. So I'm sure it'll all come good, and I'll probably feel better when the sun comes out. Okay, after faffing around for about half an hour, I've just I managed to order a 1000-watt inverter with 2 plug outputs in it from Screwfix in Cardigan. I can pick it up in Cardigan Bay, which is about 35 miles from here, and that's where I'm heading for in a couple of days anyway, so I can pick that up on the way through. The inverter I've got is just cutting out all the time. It's supposed to be 300 watt, and my laptop is supposed to be maximum of 240, but for some reason it won't do it. It might be something to do with not being able to pull enough juice from the 12 volt system. I might have to attach the other one directly to the battery. I'm hoping I don't have to do that, but we'll see. But this inverter's not up to the job. It was 35 quid or something, and this bigger one's 110 quid. I was umming and ahhing whether to sort of pull the plug and pull the pin and then buy a big power bank, but I don't want to spend £1,000 at the moment. I'm thinking of getting that sort of towards the winter, really. But I do want to be editing videos quite a lot. I've got tons of stuff, footage backing up, because I think at some point this could be an additional income for me, and I need to be able to run my laptop. My older laptop might run okay. I might have a go at using that, but I've got different software on it. I've started using Filmora. Yeah, it would just be backtracking. It would just be a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, this is what this is about, and it's about discovering issues and overcoming them, and it does make it more difficult in the van. You've got to be so much more organised to be able to achieve that, but it is what it is, and these are all just teething problems in setting up, really. I've also noticed that with Filmora, when you're choosing music to go with your videos, you need to be connected to the internet at the same time, so that it can sort of download little snippets of songs that you might want to use. So at the moment I'm using some of my old songs. It's been quite nice actually, just go back through some of my own music and actually choosing stuff to go with the images, and I have got some quite nice songs I think that are pretty appropriate, and they'll get me through for now. My inverter is going to be, if it's struggling with my laptop, if I start trying to run the router as well, I think I'm going to run all sorts of problems. So just going to tick these things off one at a time, but I'm going to try this inverter. If it's 110 quid and it doesn't work, I'll see if I can flog it to someone. But yeah, so I need to get moving in a minute anyway. It's still raining a little bit outside, but I'm just going to have a little jaunt along the coast. Obviously I can't go, there's no point in me going beyond Cardigan at the moment, so I'll have to work out how to amuse myself for the next couple of days. I'm probably going to have a rest day with regards to exercise today, because my legs feel quite knackered and I need to recover properly. My Achilles were a little bit sore this morning, but I was running up some steepish hills yesterday. So yeah it's a few challenges this morning, which is a bit annoying, but once I get going and get out and have a walk in the rain, I'm sure I'll feel a lot better. Right, I took the back road towards Fishguard. It's parallel to the A487. I wasn't sure whether it was going to be big enough for the van, but I noticed if you look on the maps, if you see like a continuous long line with lots of tiny roads coming off it, those kind of non-registered roads or whatever, they're usually actually quite good. And because obviously you get farm vehicles up and down, it was actually turned out to be really good, and there was only a couple of narrow spaces in 8 or 9 miles that I had to slow down or stop for other traffic, as there wasn't a problem at all. And I noticed on Park for Night, I noticed on the Park for Night app that there was a stop near a little village called Treffin. There's showed a lay-by with spaces for up to 4 people. And I've just got here, and it looks really good. There's a view of the sea from my window. There are 2 other cars parked here at the moment. There's a German car. Looks like someone's sleeping in it, and it looked like a surfy car. So I might stay here the night. I'm just down the road from the coast path, comes onto the road about 200 meters away, so I can go for a walk. So I'm going to grab some food and go for a walk, explore the path a little bit. I've just had a confirmation email from Screwfix about my inverter, and it looks like they are actually open tomorrow. So I could potentially go on to Cardigan tomorrow and pick it up. But now I'm here, if I go out for an hour or two walking, I might stay the night here. It feels a nice little place. It's got good reviews on Park for Night. And I need to do more free park ups. So it feels nice here. It feels safe. It feels cool. It's got a view of the sea. I should be able to see the sea from lying on my bed, which would be nice. So I'm going to just, have some food, have a little chill out, and then go for a walk and see how it feels. I might try and edit out some more video stuff, because I really want to be knocking out a few more videos, really. And if I can get my laptop to keep working, then we should be good. I should have a fair bit of charge. I've been driving about half an hour, so the leisure battery should be well charged up again, so I should be able to do some more. So I think that's probably my day sorted out. Yeah, it's interesting because this would be quite a nice spot to work. It's interesting because I've got this in mind as I'm driving. You know, if you just keep driving around sort of reasonably sized sort of back roads, you know, whenever there's a decent viewpoint, there's quite often a little lay-by, and that's all I need for writing reports. I just need somewhere to pull in that's safe, you know, not blocking other traffic. And this would be a really cool place to work, to be writing reports. So, and it's, you know, near the coast path, so when I wanted to have a little break, I could just go for a walk. So yeah, still exploring, still learning a lot about how this is going to work for me. Yeah, there's lots to think about, lots to learn, but it's great. It's great. You know, it's slightly nerve-wracking leaving a campsite in the morning, you know, wondering where you're going to stay for the night and what you're going to do for the day. But you know, there's so many amazing things just outside your door. You know, you just drive around a bit, and you know, there was a really interesting kind of land feature. There's a kind of outcrop of rock that I could see from the campsite. I drove right past it. It looked like there was a way of walking up it, but you had to drive up a tiny little lane to get to it, and I just didn't want to do that this morning in the van. So yeah, it's great. Feeling a lot happier and more confident now. I've found somewhere to stop for at least a while anyway. All right, food. Because I don't have any time constraints, I'm just like ambling along. It'll be, you know, there's some stuff in my house here, so it'll be a good little sort of gentle like workout. But it's really nice to be able to just amble along instead of just, for the last few years, training for the UTM, the OCC and things like that. There's been a lot of sort of cramming training in between work and other things like that. So feels really pleasant. When I left Exeter, I got rid of my kayak and my wave ski, and because I just didn't want to end up with so much stuff in storage, especially with some of these things I haven't used for a while. But I've realised since I've been away these last couple of weeks that there have been a lot of opportunities to just chuck a kayak in a river or a lake or whatever. So many years ago, before I suppose in the early days of thinking about a van, I can remember seeing a Dutch couple at a place called Chair Ladder down in Cornwall, big climbing crag, and we'd all been climbing together. We got chatting to them on the way back to the car park, and there'd been a basking shark off the shore, and this guy went straight back to his van, pulled his sit-on kayak off the roof of his van, carried it down to the nearest beach, and then went out, and apparently he got within about 15 feet of it. So that's always stuck in my memory. So yeah, it's something to think about. I've got to kind of get all the essentials right in the van first before I can start spending money on frivolities like that, I guess. But it's definitely something I'm mulling over as I walk today.
two runners that have passed me in the last kind of half an hour. It's making me feel really jealous, but I need to have a rest day because my legs are sore. Damn it. There are loads of warning signs along here about the danger of the cliffs. You know, the path is just right on the cliff edge in places, and I was just looking over the edge of a little bush, there's a kind of hedge, and it looks like it's that, literally it's the thorn hedge that's holding all the soil to the top of the cliff. You are literally stood right on the edge of a kind of like 90-foot drop, and I have a really good head for heights, but even that was caught me out a little bit. She's the granddaughter of the master mason at St David's Cathedral, and someone else was talking about him earlier on. But yeah, they're kind of quite aware of people parking in the spot that I'm in, and it seems to be slightly frowned upon. They said that, you know, it'll be fine, but they just accept that people do park there in the summer. Just made me feel slightly uneasy about it. They were really nice. They were lovely. They didn't try to make me feel bad about it, but I just have to make sure that I leave it really clean. But I would like to stay there for the night. It's a nice little spot. Feel safe. And I'm in no rush to move. If I move now, I've just got to go and find somewhere else. And who knows what I'll end up with. A couple of really interesting things I'm finding about the Pembrokeshire Coast Path is compared to the South West Coast Path that I'm used to running on. I'm very familiar with. I've been walking sort of northwest, I suppose, from the van for over an hour now, and I haven't passed a single other person, which is quite bizarre. I'm so used to on the South West Coast Path just meeting other people, even in the evenings. It's about 8 o'clock now. And the other thing is, like, from a health and safety perspective, I'm really good with heights, but behind me, like, there's about 2 feet of grass, a bank there, and then there's a vertical drop, almost vertical drop of about 300 feet to the sea. And if this was on the South West Coast Path, it'd probably be fenced off or something. So there have been quite a few signs up saying, you know, beware of the cliffs. They're, you know, very dangerous, obviously. But yeah, you really are kind of left to your own devices. I've been walking towards a high point here, which looks a good kind of, you know, 200 meters higher than anything else around it. Can't quite work out on Google Maps exactly where it is. I thought I'd pinned it down on the OS map before I left. I just had a quick look, but I don't seem to be getting any closer to it. So I don't have a head torch with me or anything like that, so I'm going to go for another 5 or 10 minutes and see how close I can get to it, but I might have to just turn around and go back. The other thing I was going to mention is that I've started feeling a little bit low. It's not like me to feel a bit low, not very often. It happens very seldom with me, but yeah, I think it's all been quite challenging recently. You know, changes with work, rushing over here from Kent. You know, things have changed enormously for me with work, even in the last couple of weeks. We had a big meeting about it on Thursday morning. You know, I've had teething troubles with the van, and yeah, sometimes I feel as though I've resolved an issue with the van, and then it crops up again about 3 weeks later, and nothing seems to have changed. It's quite difficult to pinpoint some of these issues. Grey water system blocking out, stuff like that. It just sort of piles up, and I'm slightly uncomfortable about where I'm staying tonight. I think it's going to be fine, but there's just a lot of change to adapt to in a short period of time, and even if it all went perfectly well, it would be, you know, challenging in itself. But when things keep going wrong, you know, it's just a bit challenging. But look at that behind me. I mean, this is what I wanted to be doing, to be out in environments like this most of the time.